Why Donald Trump is America's only hope. The fate of America is on the line, and the clock is ticking. Under Joe Biden's failed leadership, we've watched our economy crumble, our borders collapse, and our enemies grow stronger. But there is one man who can save us from this chaos: Donald Trump. In Donald Trump is our only hope, we dive deep into why Trump is the last line of defense against the radical left's destruction of this country. The Democrats have unleashed crime, chaos, and corruption, and now, America stands at the brink. Trump's leadership is our only chance to restore law and order, rebuild the economy, and defend our freedoms. Don't sit on the sidelines as America falls apart. Watch the video and discover why Trump is the only one who can lead us back to greatness. The future of America depends on it. America stands at the edge of a precipice, teetering on the brink of economic collapse, societal unrest, and global irrelevance. Under the leadership of Joe Biden, what was once the greatest nation on earth has been reduced to a shadow of itself. The Democratic Party has failed the American people, and with each passing day, the country drifts further from its core values of freedom, prosperity, and security. There is only one man who can pull America back from the abyss and restore the greatness that once defined it: Donald J. Trump. Biden's presidency has been nothing short of a disaster. From the catastrophic withdrawal from Afghanistan that left American soldiers dead and betrayed the trust of our allies, to the shocking surge of violent crime in states like California, his administration has proven itself incompetent and out of touch with the needs of the American people. The streets of once thriving cities now run red with blood as crime spirals out of control, and the Democrats offer nothing but empty platitudes and excuses. In California, the so-called liberal paradise, residents fear for their lives as a wave of burglaries, carjackings, and violent assaults grips the state. The Democrats who govern these cities have allowed chaos to reign, their policies enabling criminals while law-abiding citizens suffer. It doesn't stop there. Biden's economic policies have led to a surge in unemployment and inflation, crippling middle-class families who can no longer afford basic necessities. Factories and industries that once thrived under Trump's America First agenda are now fleeing to other countries, taking good-paying jobs with them. Meanwhile, China's economic dominance grows unchecked. Biden's administration has allowed the Chinese Communist Party to continue its aggressive expansion, compromising America's position as a global leader. Under Biden, the American dream is slipping through our fingers, and millions of hardworking Americans are losing hope. But the most egregious failure of the Biden-Harris administration is the immigration crisis that is flooding our borders with unchecked waves of migrants. Over 7 million illegal immigrants have poured into the United States, and many of them have brought with them a legacy of crime and lawlessness from their countries of origin. Biden and Harris have opened the floodgates, allowing America to be overrun by those who do not respect our laws or our sovereignty. This isn't compassion, it's chaos. The migrant crisis has destabilized our cities, overwhelmed our social services, and left the American people feeling abandoned in their own country. The Democratic Party is in shambles. They promised unity, but all they've delivered is division. They swore they would protect the middle class, but instead, they've pushed us closer to a socialist nightmare, where the government dictates every aspect of our lives. Taxes are skyrocketing, jobs are disappearing, and the American people are losing faith in their leadership. Kamala Harris, Biden's second-in-command, is a walking disaster, a politician without principle or vision, whose reckless policies will only accelerate our decline into socialism. Donald Trump is the only man who can reverse this disaster. He is the only one who has the courage to stand up to the radical left, to restore law and order, and to reignite the economic engine of this nation. Under Trump's leadership, America thrived. His economic reforms brought jobs back to our shores, his tax cuts empowered the middle class, and his strong foreign policy kept our enemies in check. Trump kept his promises to the American people, and he will do it again. We need a leader who isn't afraid to speak the truth. We need a leader who will defend our borders, protect American jobs, and put our nation's interests first. Trump is that leader. He understands the threats we face from within and from abroad. He understands that a weak America is a vulnerable America, and that under Biden, we are more vulnerable than ever. The choice is clear. Under Biden, America is crumbling. Under Trump, America can rise again. This is not just an election, it's a battle for the soul of our nation. Donald Trump is the only hope for a strong, prosperous, and free America. Vote Trump and save America from the abyss. The fate of America hangs in the balance, and the stakes could not be higher. Under Joe Biden's weak and misguided leadership, we are witnessing the slow erosion of the very foundation that made this nation great. The Biden-Harris administration has unleashed a storm of crises that threaten not just our economy and national security, but the very fabric of our society. And as the country plunges deeper into chaos, one thing becomes increasingly clear: Donald Trump is the only hope for America's survival. Let's start with the catastrophic withdrawal from Afghanistan, a disgraceful failure that exposed the incompetence of the Biden administration on a global stage. In one fell swoop, Biden managed to undo decades of effort, sacrifice, and progress, abandoning our allies and emboldening our enemies. The image of desperate Afghans clinging to departing American planes as the Taliban swept into power is burned into our collective memory, a symbol of American weakness and betrayal. This debacle did not just cost lives, it destroyed our credibility around the world. Our allies no longer trust us, and our enemies no longer fear us. Under Biden, America has become a laughingstock, and our adversaries, from Russia to China, are seizing the opportunity to assert their dominance. This collapse of leadership is mirrored at home, where Biden's failed domestic policies are tearing the country apart. California, once the Golden State, is now a dystopian wasteland where crime, homelessness, and drug addiction reign supreme. Violent crime has exploded in cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco, where progressive Democratic policies have crippled law enforcement and emboldened criminals. Theft and assault are no longer the exception, they are the rule. People are afraid to walk down the streets of their own neighborhoods, while local governments continue to handcuff the police and allow lawlessness to fester. What has the Democratic leadership done in response? They've doubled down on the same failed policies, prioritizing criminals over law-abiding citizens and offering empty promises instead of solutions. And while American families are suffering, struggling to put food on the table and keep their businesses afloat, Biden's economic policies have worsened the crisis. Inflation is at a record high, making it harder for everyday Americans to afford the basics like groceries, gas, and housing. The middle class, the backbone of this country, is being suffocated under the weight of Biden's radical agenda. Meanwhile, unemployment continues to climb as factories close and businesses flee to countries like China, where they are no longer shackled by burdensome American regulations. Under Trump, industries were returning to our shores, providing millions of jobs to hardworking Americans. But under Biden, we are watching the systematic dismantling of our economic strength, piece by piece. While the Democrats preach about compassion, they've opened the floodgates to unchecked, illegal immigration. Let's be clear, this is not just a humanitarian crisis, it's a national security crisis. More than 7 million illegal immigrants have flooded across our borders under Biden's watch, overwhelming our resources and compromising the safety of American citizens. This is not an act of kindness, it's an act of negligence. Many of these migrants are not just seeking a better life, they are fleeing from criminal pasts in their home countries, bringing with them gang violence, drug trafficking, and other illicit activities that are now spreading like a cancer across American communities. Kamala Harris, the supposed border czar, has been nothing but a disaster. She has completely failed to address the border crisis, leaving the southern states to fend for themselves. Meanwhile, Democrat-controlled cities are becoming sanctuaries for illegal immigrants, even as their own citizens cry out for relief. The influx of unvetted, undocumented immigrants is straining our healthcare system, our schools, and our social services, pushing American citizens to the back of the line. And while Harris pretends to care about equality and justice, it's clear that her priority is not the American people, it's the advancement of a radical, leftist agenda. Let's talk about the economic war we are losing to China. Under Biden's weak and directionless leadership, China has become more emboldened than ever. Its economic influence is growing at an alarming rate, as Biden allows American industries to be outsourced to foreign nations. China's dominance in manufacturing, technology, and infrastructure is a direct threat to American sovereignty. And yet, Biden has done nothing to counter their aggressive expansion. Under Trump, America was strong. We had regained our position as the world's economic superpower. Trump took on China with tariffs and trade deals that protected American jobs and businesses. He was the first president in modern history to stand up to China's bullying tactics, and under his leadership, we were winning that fight. But under Biden, we are losing. The Democrats have chosen to appease our enemies rather than confront them. They are more concerned with pandering to radical activists than securing the future of the American worker. And now, as China tightens its grip on global trade and technology, America is falling behind. Our factories are closing, our innovation is stalling, and the American worker is paying the price. The exodus of American companies to foreign shores is an act of betrayal, one that Biden and his Democratic allies are complicit in. The truth is stark: the Democratic Party has failed America. They have plunged us into economic despair, social unrest, and national insecurity. They have opened our borders to criminals and gangs. They have allowed foreign powers to undermine our sovereignty and dignity. They have abandoned the American people in favor of radical, socialist policies that will cripple our economy and strip us of our freedoms. Donald Trump is the only hope we have left. He understands what is at stake. He knows how to rebuild the economy, how to restore law and order, and how to protect America from threats both foreign and domestic. Under Trump, America was on a path to prosperity, strength, and unity. He delivered on his promises, whether it was lowering taxes, rebuilding our military, or standing up to China and Iran. He put America first, and he will do it again. This is a defining moment in our history. We cannot afford to allow the failed policies of the Biden administration to continue. We cannot afford to let the Democrats push us further into the abyss. America needs a strong leader, one who will fight for the American people, protect our borders, and restore our place as the greatest nation in the world. Donald Trump is that leader. He is the last line of defense between freedom and socialism, between prosperity and poverty, between order and chaos. The future of America depends on his return to the presidency. He is not just the best choice, he is the only choice. Vote Trump and save America before it's too late. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to Astropolitics for more insightful content on how politics and astrology shape the world. Hit that like button and make sure to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to comment below and share your insights. And most importantly, share this video with your friends and family. Let's spread the word and keep the conversation going. Thanks again for your support, and we'll see you in the next video.